Good afternoon, everybody. We're down in Pioneer, California. We just did a demo with Prime Tech boys over there. This is part of Global Machinery's lineup with TAKEUCHI with FAE head, and this bird's here also. Now, as far as a skid steer goes, it's still a skid steer at the end of the day. It's nothing too extreme on horsepower. It's kind of good for every little thing in between, and you can mulch with it sometimes. As far as everything goes, considering a skid steer running a mulcher head, this is the current head that we just bought for the anticipation of getting a skid steer later on. It is on a lamb track right now, so it's got a good home at the current state, but for later on I would like to get a rubber tracked skiddy for doing some mulching and maybe some dirt work and stuff on the sides. And these two machines are the ones that I would consider my top choices. A TAKEUCHI TL12 or ASV RT120. Now the RT120 does have 120 horsepower with a 4BT Cummins behind it, but there's some things that I'm not too liking about it. And then pick and choose between engines. It's Cummins and Kubota, those are my favorites, but the TAKEUCHI does have a Kubota engine in it. It's only 111 horsepower. There is some flow loss and some hydraulic pressure loss with this machine, but I believe it makes up for it in some of these other areas. And first thing, I'm going to start off with John from upstate. I know you're going to be bummed that I'm going to bash your machine, but there's a couple things that I'm not too stoked on, and it's been apparent on your videos, is the hydraulic hose is sticking out down here. That is subject for sticks and stuff to get into it if you're doing realistic mulching out in the logwoods and stuff, which again, this is a skid steer. It's not for full-time mulching. Another thing, when it comes back to here, John added that big old bar right here, a big old flat bar to protect it from hitting the tracks, because this isn't as strong as it needs to be. But then you come over here to the TAKEUCHI real quick. First thing, there's no hoses sticking out. It's not MTL undercarriage, so it is rigid. But then you come back here, look at that. That bar is already there. Tracks do stick out just a little bit, but nothing I'm not too worried about. So those are the two major things. I did get to run this one, but everybody left before I got to run this one. But I did sit in it and I saw it running. It's going to be a hard comparison even if I got to run both of these machines right now, because the fact that this one has carbides, that one over there has knives on it. So it wouldn't have been a real good comparison. But I'm going to hop in the cabs of each of these and show you something real quick that really sums it up if I'm going to pick something. And the fact that the undercarriage on this one I'm a little bit unsure of. Sure, it's got suspension, which would be nice, but at the end of the day I want something that's going to last. And no matter what I've heard, it just takes one thing to happen to it and she's gone. And as far as this one over here, I don't really think you're going to hurt it. So I'm going to get V-Belt over here to hold the camera so I can hop up in these machines and show you guys something that's pretty important that I don't really like. First thing hopping in the ASV is you put your hand here to pull yourself on, and you go to open the door, your fingers will be terminated right there. So the same thing goes as you're closing it. And I saw somebody get in this earlier and they said this felt like getting in a coffin. I don't know. It is, get my phone out of my pocket because there's no room to get it back out once you're in here. Seat is just a spring. I don't think there's, something's breaking back there. Then you put your bar down. Total coffin. There's not much room for movement at all in here. Visibility once you close the door, very minimal.
No key?
Yeah. I already took the key out of it, so I can't steal this thing. I wish I could, but like I said, it's got two different heads on it, two different style of teeth, so it's not going to really matter comparisons level. And this thing absolutely has zero visibility out this whatsoever.
It's got a good shock to hold the door open.
Yeah, I'll film it from in here. This is the view from inside the cab. Put the bar down, close the door. Oh, visibility went down even more. I can't see nothing out the sides. Like, there's a backup camera up there, but I can't really see too much. But the visibility factor, I wouldn't be too bummed on. because you can just kind of adapt to that, but I really don't like how it's so, it's claustrophobic in there to say the least. But then, another thing is that door, you open it up, and I've heard quite a few complaints about the door having issues. Latch and lock. Once you got the door up, you can't, you can't even get out of the thing. But you come over here to this guy, so much easier to get in. It's got one of those seats that floats and it's super comfortable. I'm in here, got my phone out, no problem. Cup holder in a decent spot. Tons of room in the world. Flap my wings in here. Stretch my legs out, and then when it comes down to the door, it's a little bit tricky, I will say the least, but I will say it does take some technique to try and get that door open, but I like this machine a lot better because I can move my arms in here. And I got all the footage driving it later.
That ASV does have a suspension, so it's got to be a smoother riding rig.
It would have been nice to get to drive that thing, but we missed out because we spent so much time driving that $500,000 machine over there. So, but like I was saying, though, at the end of the day, I feel like this undercarriage is going to outlast that one. Tracks do wear out, but there's less moving parts with this rig, and driving it around, it didn't feel like the most awkward machine in the world. It does pick up a little bit of a debris right here, but that can be from like anything. And they both weigh about the same. I'd say horsepower is ASV definitely has a little bit of an edge on it. It does have a Cummins with 9 more horsepower. Got a little bit more flow, a little bit more PSI, but you're sacrificing a lot of comfort and stuff sitting in that little cab. Your visibility is weak. Those are a couple of flaws immediately sticking out. I've talked to several people. They said these undercarriages do hold up and do last, but there's a lot of I don't know, you get messed up once and that's all it's going to take. Got to do some trickery to open this Larry. All fiberglass. That's another thing right there, completely forgot to mention. If you don't put that guard that Upstate put on here, all your fiberglass is sticking out. Come over to this. What do we got here? Some of that steel. Where's the doodad? Come on, open up, Larry. There we go. Then you pull these 2 bolts out on this side, and this thing opens right up. Easy access to it. It's your engine cooler, hydraulic cooler, intercooler, and then 100 and something horsepower turbo diesel Kubota in there. It's got def, everything's got def, so I don't know. If you hit a pothole with this, it might fall off. But I like how it's already equipped with this back here. It's got a bar. It could stick out a little bit more, but that's, I mean, it's got a tie down.
Use that backup camera.
Yeah, it's got a backup camera. The other one's got one too, but pretty slick. So, alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, officially welcome to the channel. It is, it's been a couple days since I filmed all that footage down there, checking out the ASV and the TAKEUCHI. I'll be straightforward and honest with you. I really like ASV. They have some issues of concern, I will say, after actually seeing one in person. I did want to order one of those several months, probably about a year ago actually now. ASV RT120 forestry package, everything, and get that FAE head on it. That is exactly the machine that I wanted. Really look forward to getting it. Just a couple things didn't quite add up and we didn't get that, and got lucky and got a PrimeTech instead, so that worked out for the best on that subject. But listening to some people's concerns and stuff about it, I've heard great things about ASV. I want to make that very clear. I'm not trying to bash that machine. It gets the job done. John, I know you like your machine a lot. But the biggest thing that really stood out to me is I knew it had bad visibility. I've heard some issues with the controls, but I know it's got good power. It'll throw the head around. At the end of the day, it's still a skid steer. You can't ask too much out of a skid steer. You want more power, you got to step up to another class. But getting into the cab of one of those things, the machine itself is a pretty big machine as far as skid steers go, but the cab is so small. I don't think I'd be the biggest fan of it. And then the Rayco that we have, it's got a small cab, but it's not that small. And the TAKEUCHI, I know Let's Dig's been running those for a long time. I didn't really think too much of it for a skid steer mulcher combination, but talking to some people down there, I heard good things about it, so I was pretty excited to get to run that. I was kind of bummed it had knives on it rather than carbide, so I'd have a good comparison with the exact head that we are running for later on down the road. And it would have been nice to put the FAE head on the ASV. And I did watch the ASV run. It wasn't like I, didn't see it in action, didn't do anything, but I didn't really know the people that ran that show, so I didn't feel completely comfortable asking them if I could just go run their rig. And then the chances I did have were taken by running the 300. So at the end of the day, I think I would rather have ran the 300, and in case of which maybe I want an ASV later on, I'll go ahead and get a demo for one of those. But I did get to drive the crap out of the TAKEUCHI, and I will say this: it's got pilot controls, it's standard hard skid steer tracks. I feel they're very durable, and that thing is very quick and very fast on its feet. The mulcher response recovery time did a great job. I was very impressed with that machine. And now this is coming from somebody, they gave me crap on both ends out there on which one of these machines I liked more. And it's a difficult to say, I like this machine first, now I like this one now. But at this moment in time, they are both awesome rigs. They've done people a lot of good, and some people have got great luck with them, and some people got bad luck. But running the TAKEUCHI, definitely, I was a big fan of just the visibility, the power it has, the quickness it has. Cool story I want to share before I end this little segment of it, and I'll cut to you guys getting to actually see the thing running, is after I ran the machine for 20-30 minutes up way off beaten path, we came back down in there, and one of the disc mulchers was trying to cut down a couple trees, and he was making a mess out of the whole thing. And certain somebody from the FAE tent came over, and he's like, "Hey, you want to go over there and clean that mess up for him?" And it was pretty neat for my experience that I got to be the guy running the machine to start off with. I didn't think I was ever going to be one of those guys at a demo that got to drive it in front of a crowd. So I went over there. There's a couple, I don't know, 15-foot tall pine trees. Now mind you, I'm running knives, so it makes it look even more impressive. And the FAE's got a hood, so you can open to spray and close for a freaking super containment. So I went over there, took out this pine tree. It had to have been about a 5-6 inch pine tree, nothing too intense. Foot motor down, opened the hood up, in that pond I showed in the beginning, I pointed out that way, set the head down on there, and just shot the chip 60 feet out over into that pond, and went over to the rest of the tree, set her down, closed the hood, back dragged it, nice containment right there. I felt bad because I was running knives and it was in a little bit of rocks, but Jim said just send it, we're trying to make a good demo here, and it cleaned it up good. And Lofness, I know Lofness follows me on Instagram, so I don't want to bash them because they have a good reputation of business, and I don't know too much about their product. But that on the ASV running, he came over and tidied that up a little bit more, so he ran through the rocks and everything, and he's got carbides. But if you guys are looking at getting one of these machines, statistics and on paper horsepower rating, when I say it's a skid steer, you're not expecting too much more out of that platform. It's going to be 100 to 120 horse, or you can step up to that new Lamb Track thing and you get the one arm wonder. But it's still a skid steer. You know, if you want more power, you got to jump up to something that's dedicated or something, I guess. But in my opinion, the horsepower loss with the TAKEUCHI, it's not the end of the world. It's still, because I thought horsepower performance loss, I thought it wasn't going to perform as well as it did. But so you guys can look all of those up, but there's things that people don't show, and that is the in-cab view, the comfortableness of it, ease of access. And I don't want to be coming across like I'm bashing ASV, because they've, you know, came a long ways from snowmobiles to making these things now. So the handle for the door, you boys need to move that thing back a little bit. I lost some freaking fingers on that. Look at them. Just kidding, but it hurt. Okay, so I'm gonna cut to the end. It's gonna be a longer video so you guys can see the TAKEUCHI running, and if you guys want to see some ASV action, I'm sure by now, since John's blown up, go watch some ASV stuff at Upstate Brush Control. He's got good stuff over there. He runs knives, so it's not a very good comparison to running carbides like we primarily do. So knives are a big horsepower compensator. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video and the information that I've tried to provide to you guys if you're picking ASV or TAKEUCHI or any other skid steer. First thing I do is obviously look at the power, but then the next, how comfortable you're gonna be in that machine. But hope you guys enjoy the video of me running the machine. This is my first time ever running the TAKEUCHI, so cut me some slack. It's a little bit different. But thanks guys, we'll see you. Interesting. Hello everybody, Jim gave me the keys to a brand new TAKEUCHI TL12. Never driven one of these before in my life. We're gonna see if we're gonna fit through here. I don't think I will, he says I will. But I gotta, I don't know if it's gonna fit. Oh my gosh, it fit. Whoa. The controls are sensitive. Very sensitive. So it has the same mulcher head on it that we just got. The FA one, but it's got knives across the board. This is the head we'd be running on this machine if we got it. I guess I'm a short guy, so I need to slide the seat forward a little bit. My arms don't quite reach. So I'm gonna take off up the hill. It just started downpouring. I think Jim's gonna follow me with his Dodge. Jim said to run it wide open, so be wide open now. I let him warm up a little bit. out of there and relieve the head. It's too much dirt. Got a dirt pile right here. Yeah, it's a water bar or something. Global machinery, this is fun. Jim Cunningham, appreciate it. This thing, the track speed on this is ridiculous. It is in 100% get her done mode. Ballpark.
Yeah, pretty close. I mean, Brad had hit some rocks down on the bottom.
So that right there is not so much that I did,
No.
just in this. So
Correct.
because that they're walking through. I mean, this is stringy, annoying stuff. I would say I'd shoot that tree up, but the head isn't really like if it stalls the head, the machine's still holding its composure.
Correct. That's what I mean. We can turn the pressure. There's enough horsepower in there that you can bump the pressure up on that auxiliary circuit to.
It's honestly the tracks could slow down a little bit.
Well, that's all in your input.
Yeah, I know. Well, the stick is so huge compared to compared to a Prime Tech.
So on that stick, there's beginner mode, there's intermediate mode, and there's expert mode.
We're on beginner.
So beginner mode is you grab the rubber boot and you control it from the rubber boot. Intermediate is in the middle, and expert you're running off your fingertips.
Well, that's where I'm running right now. But like if you're getting a slippery spot and it grabs traction because you're like, come on, and then pretty soon you get it, and then it's all it gets it, takes off over the log.
Yeah.
But I'll do. If you want to stand like over there, I'll hit that brush line just a little bit.
Is that door seal pretty good on that?
It does.
It's definitely fun. The sticks, that is like freaking big rig stick, but compared to like
it's pilot oil. So what if someone's run a bobcat or a cat, they'll get in. They say it's awful jerky. The machine does what the operator is inputting.
For going ham, I want everything, you said to dirt and all. Look, I mean, that wasn't me. I didn't do that. There's somebody hit a freaking.
No, Brad hit some rocks earlier, but I don't know, on your head, you can adjust the shoes.
Yeah.
So you can.
There was right here. I don't know if you saw that pass where I was like, I didn't get nothing. I opened the hood up and it was like, yeah, buddy. So this set. Alrighty, everybody, that's going to wrap up this video and my two visual comparisons more or less on the ASV versus the TAKEUCHI TL12. not too much more I can say about these machines. Pretty much summed it up all on there. The knives on the FAE head handled pretty dang good, I will say, for running straight up like a carbide on that. I was putting it in the dirt, backtracking thoroughly. Very impressed with that whole setup. I like the visibility, I like the view. Just sitting back watching the video of those machines, you know, that was a fun day. I had a lot of fun. Thanks everybody that was involved, anybody that's watching this video that was there. Thanks for bringing your equipment out there. Global Machinery, Jim, John, FAE, thank you guys so much for hospitality and being good people and showing us a good time down there. That was a lot of fun. And one thing I wanted to mention is the door on the TAKEUCHI, the fact that it can open straight up, kind of like Kubotas and stuff. That gives you so much better of access to get out of the machine for emergencies and stuff like that. And one other thing on the door subject, in one video it was painted, and I was pretty much like the only one except for Dad and one other guy that ran that TAKEUCHI that day, and he asked me how to mulch, and he put the boom way up like I told him not to, and he sprayed the whole cab and everything, which is not very good technique in my opinion. But I just wanted to clarify that wasn't me that painted it with chips. But hell of a good time. I had a lot of fun down there. Thank you everybody, and thank you guys for watching my videos. Hit them buttons, like, comment, and subscribe. And if you are in the Sacramento, California area, Northern Cali, Global Machinery, check them boys out. They got a lot of good service and quality products down there for sale. Help them out with some business, and I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time. Also, have a great day. I don't have anything else to say. It's been a long video. If you made it this far, we made it, boys. Comment below. Tell me what your favorite skid steer application and use and everything is. Bobcat. Any experience is good experience to share on here. Whether it be bad experience, you broke your Bobcat, your ASV tracks hold up like gold, let me know. Comment it all below. I appreciate you guys making it this far in this video, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.